Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 147, and it is our first regular season post-game review of the year for our Pittsburgh Steelers. What's going on, Mike?
What up? Victory Monday. Victory Monday. I love it.
Victory Monday. Schizophrenic Victory Monday.
Yes, it is.
That had to be one of the most schizophrenic games I've ever seen in my life, man.
That was up there with God, remember that the game against Tennessee Titans in the playoffs that year? Was it Dwayne Washington blocked the field goal, then it wasn't a block, and that back and forth weird thing with the roughing the kicker all the time. It just had that feel to it of like,
yeah,
we're gonna lose this game. We're gonna lose this game. Tennessee one, we did. This one, we miraculously pulled it out. So
yeah, these kind of games are pretty amazing when you're on the winning side of them.
They are. They're fun.
And of course, for anybody who may have been under a rock for the weekend, we're talking about the Steelers and the Bengals game yesterday, the regular season opener against our division rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals. They come off of a Super Bowl appearance just last year. Now they are on a 2-game losing streak. They lost 2 in a row. They lost in the Super Bowl, of course, and yesterday in the opener, they lost to Pittsburgh in quite a fashion. And I tell you what, if you didn't end up seeing this game, I would recommend you going and pulling it up and watching it, because it was one of the crazier games I've ever seen.
It was the way we played against them last year. I think there's no way.
Yeah.
And then the offense started out slow, and then the D, like we talked about going into this game and going into the seasons, like the defense was going to have to carry us, and they did.
And that's exactly what we said last week. We said we can't get into these our turn, your turn, our turn, your turn kind of games, because we weren't going to win that kind of game against this team and their talented receivers and their quarterbacks. So what did we say last week? It's got to be dirty. It's got to be not dirty, but it's got to be
an ugly game.
It's got to be ugly. We got to go out there and impose our will on defense. We come out, get the ball first. It was not too impressive. So I'm thinking, okay, so if this is going to be a back and forth game, we've already gave them, the advantage and said, here you go, because we didn't do anything on that first drive. And then the defense decides to show up and make amazing play after play after play after play, and it turned it into one of them scrappy games.
Yep.
And in my opinion, it was the exact kind of game the Steelers needed to win that game yesterday. And I think
sorry about that.
No, you're all right.
I had ESPN up in the background, and the highlights automatically started playing. That's all I heard in my ear. And I'm thinking, is that what everyone's hearing?
I did not hear anything.
Oh my goodness. It just happened to be the Jamari Chase touchdown that we'll get into later.
Yes. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I kind of lost what you were saying, but it was just a crazy game. It's like the offense was struggling. It kind of felt like a game like last year.
Yeah,
like the typical game that we won last year, where offense is going to struggle for the entire game, defense is going to make plays, and then at the end, the quarterback does enough to get us a touchdown or get us a field goal.
In any way you slice it, at this point, Monday morning, the morning that everyone's talking about all these games, is the Bengals are in last place in the division.
Yes.
They are the only team, they're the only team that did not win in the division yesterday. So that's kind of nice. I would have liked to see losses from the other two as well, but you know what? We can only control. We can control, and we controlled enough to win that game. So bring on the Patriots next,
Yeah. I like before the game, I think it was like that Friday, Saturday, the banner for the Bengals Twitter is like, what are they stealing?
Yeah.
Oh man, the fans and the players had fun with that one.
Yes.
Like, stealing this win, stealing this ball. They're showing clips of Burrows getting picked off. It was good. I like it.
Yeah, it was the total opposite of what you'd expect anytime you see Joe Burrow on the field. You expect him to be able to control the game, throw the ball around where he wants, look at defenses, pick them apart.
Yeah.
And you know what? The defense was so hardcore yesterday. I mean, I was play after play after play, even the plays that weren't huge. If you're watching close enough, the plays that were to seem mediocre were very big plays because they had bigger implications. If you're watching the game, I watched the game twice because I couldn't come back and talk about it after only watching it once, because after the multiple heart attacks during the first time watching the game, I wasn't able to obtain the information. And so I watched it again last night, and it was fun. It was a lot funner the second time.
Oh yeah, it's always like once you know the outcome when you go back to watch the game,
Yeah,
even if it's a win or a loss, it's makes it more palatable because you're not stressing.
for sure.
But I did have the chance to watch it live. I watched it this morning, and you were I had a lot of stuff going on yesterday, and you kept me in the loop. And then once I got down to sit down and watch the game, I was like, I can sit here and just like enjoy it and kind of analyze it as it's going on, not being like all jittery and fanny when it was going on. So that was nice. But
Yeah,
even then, man, it was still, I knew what was going to happen, and I still like, no, it's not going to happen. It's like,
right.
I'm living in a fantasy land here. The couple drinks I had messed up my perception of reality, but it was one of those games, man.
I can't imagine walking away from that game with a loss. I feel for the Bengals fans, because, like I said, to play that kind of game and to walk away with a loss has to feel a lot, feel pretty terrible. Because walking away with the win feels pretty fucking awesome, to be honest.
It does. And you look at that. We're talking about this defense. They played 94 defensive snaps.
Yeah,
94. Minka Fitzpatrick, Terrell Edmonds, and Nikhil Witherspoon played all 100 snaps. Cam Sutton played 99% of the snaps. Miles Jack played 87. Those guys balled out all game long.
Any doubt that you and I might have had and spoke about prior to the season starting about this defense, I don't think we have any worries there. I think that if this defense was able to continue to play at that level, which not many are, you'd be able to have that Ravens shot of maybe being a champion this year. But you know what? Those teams, there's a reason that they're so few and far between, with your Ravens, your Buccaneers, all the way back to the Bears, not many other teams besides for that, because it's very hard to do. To depend on your defense to win game after game after game is tough. So at some point, this offense does need to start clicking, which, you know what? And they weren't horrible. It was, to be honest with you, it went better than I thought it was going to as far as the offense goes.
Yeah.
They were able to score a touchdown on the pass to Najee. I thought Trubisky was going to be on his back a lot more, only one sack, no interceptions. The numbers weren't in abundance. The receiving yards weren't in abundance. The rushing yards weren't in abundance. However, they weren't terrible. If they were terrible, if the offense was terrible, it would have been a different outcome, I think. Maybe slightly, but the offense did just enough to survive.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats now. Like each team's running game, Cincinnati had 133 yards rushing, but they only had averaged 3.9 a carry.
Yeah.
They held Mixon to 82 yards on 27 carries. That's 3 yards per carry for Joe Mixon. This guy's a beast.
And you figure take that 30-yard run out in the first half.
Yeah,
that only puts him right around 50 yards and two yards a carry. You know what I mean? So, and of course, he earned that. You give that to him, but you just pull that one run out. That stat line looks a lot different.
And bulk of their best runner per average was Burrows. He had those 6 carries, 47 yards. That inflates their average there. And you're looking at the Steelers, man. If we had 75 yards, Claypool had 33 or 36 of them.
Yeah.
Najee didn't get anything. That line is just not, they're getting no push whatsoever. Pass protection, they did just enough. They gave Trubisky just enough time to make his throws. You'd like to see the pass protection be better. They only gave up 1 sack, but he did have to move around a lot. He did have people, on him throwing. He had to throw a lot off his back foot, him moving his feet, not being able to set just because of that pressure. And that led a lot to, hit the accuracy issues that he had. I was listening
Let me ask you this. That the performance that he had, I mean, I believe me, I like Kenny. I know what he could do. I've seen what he could do, but I think that you want your veteran, you want your seasoned veteran in there because he made plays
Yeah.
that a lot of times a younger quarterback, a rookie, whatever, wouldn't make,
Mhm.
where he did have to bounce outside of the pocket and was able to find youth in the middle of the field, or, there was a couple, 3 or 4 different plays that
Yeah.
ended up being like that. That I think that's where your decision to go with your veteran
Oh yeah.
becomes huge.
He's been there, done that. This was nothing new to him. He's used to going into like hostile environments. He's, used to dealing with that pro pressure, you know.
And he's
Ki-
never lost to an AFC North team ever. 4-0.
Hey, there you go. Hey, he has that going for him. But no, like we saw it on that game-winning drive, that veteran poise of I'm
Absolutely.
and doing just enough to get us into field goal range. When he plays needed to be made, he made plays. And big props to this wide receiving core.
Absolutely.
Like we both had our doubts about them. Claypool he had some really good catches, like when he's falling down, the ball's away from him, reaching back, snagging it. That catch that Deontay Johnson had on the sideline, that's already catch of the year.
It
And
wasn't
we're in
even
week
like he
one.
was in the right direction.
Like how he did that.
You think of how your body is and think of the sideline. It was a
Mhm.
totally freakish catch.
It was too. And without that catch, we do not win that game. That was a
No.
big time, big money catch by him. The throw was, really the only spot the receiver can get.
Right.
Wasn't the greatest throw, but gave his receiver a chance. And Deontay Johnson showing the potential he has to be one of the best receivers in the league. I was reading comments, people were like, that was an AB style catch. And it was, because AB had that insane body control on the sidelines to where like his legs would just go dead and get the 2 feet in. If this was Jamari Chase making this catch or Devontae Adams, it would be blowing up all over Sports Center, all over Fox Sports, all over Twitter of catch of the year, catch of the year, catch of the year. But because it's the Steelers and Deontay Johnson, it's like, okay.
I want to see the consistency. I want to see those kind of things continue. That obviously will tell a better story of these receivers. I think they all played a great game, every single one of them. Nobody was dropping passes they should have caught. Nobody was making mistakes. So the consistency will go a long way as well with this team moving forward. They have things going in their favor. And like I said, there's no secret. We made this point many times that, that all the other pieces are in place.
Yeah.
Basically. Obviously you want your quarterback to be a little bit more, but like I said, it's game one. It was a rivalry. This team's prepared for you. They had weeks to sit back and look at you and see where your weaknesses are. For what it's worth, hey, we're 1-0, first place. Bengals are in last place. Very much more we could have did.
We will take that. That's like the tight ends too, man. Like, Fryermuth had a damn good game. Gentry out there running like, silky smooth for a big man.
Yeah.
And I like how he was able to mix the tight ends. And it sucks though that most, like, the couple of those nice plays to Fryermuth down the middle were improvised plays. It still does not seem like we're designing plays to go across the middle.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, it's because of Ben and his weak arm. Now we're seeing, is this just the way the offense is designed to not attack the middle of the field and only attack the sides? That was my big takeaway. And like no real deep balls. I'm not talking about trying to hit those home run hitters. I think you and I were talking about that, but just something to try and soften that defense up to push the linebackers back and the safeties back just a couple yards to give that offensive line a chance.
Take a shot first down. You know what I mean? You're around the 30-yard line. It's first down. Heave the ball downfield. Get people out of that box. Here's the thing. They're sitting in that box waiting on first and second down. And even if you're, they're waiting for the run, they're going to stop the run, or they're going to attack it and try to get your quarterback. First down, heave the ball down there. Send Johnson, Claypool, somebody down the sideline, even if it goes over their head, which they did later in the game. And it was actually a really good move. And whether it was by design or not, I don't know. But they were able to do that later in the game. Maybe they'll work that a little bit more this coming week against New England, because You do. You got to get 9 guys out of that
Yeah.
box. That's insane. You're never going to get any running yards, especially with our offensive line not being the greatest in the world. So they do. Like I said, even if you just have to heave it down there to keep them honest, you got to do that.
You have to. And like, the prime example of that line getting no push is when was it in the second quarter we were down inside the red zone and we, first play run, Najee runs right up the middle. There's no one there. Next play, we run it up again. Baby Watt, what's his name? Dummy Watt. He runs right into the line, can't even push them back. And then Najee runs into him because there's no room. It's like the people that we're paying to run block cannot run block. It's depressing because we have one of the best running backs in the league.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And in this offense, you're going to need the running game and passing game working in sync to make anything work.
Special teams was a main storyline in this game yesterday.
Yeah, yes, it was.
Field goals, missed field goals. It was, the thing is that this game just had so much.
Yes,
it had so much. I didn't, I see highlights from other games. It didn't appear that any other game was as exciting as this one. However, there was, definitely some exciting games out there.
Yeah.
But the 99% of the people that we were talking about on that map on Friday, they got to see a hell of a game, man.
They did. And like talking about special teams, we were saying before the season how the AFC North has the 3 best kickers.
Yeah.
Tucker and Boz battle out for 1 and 2, and then McPherson at 3. And then McPherson gets a block, then misses, then Boz misses. It's like you don't expect that from either of those kickers. It's because how ice cold Boz has been throughout his entire career, and like especially in like overtime fourth quarter situations. And then last year, that McPherson, he was lights out as a rookie. The pressure not getting to him, and this year, man, both of them just. Who would have thought?
Yeah, and Gunner with that 20-yard punt return.
Yes.
That there's so much happened.
Minkah with the block at the tail end of the game.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to the radio and Cam was like, he like talked to the media. He's like, I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm on the sidelines going, game's over. They won. And then Danny Smith, the special teams coach, was like, no, Cam. They tied the game. It's not over.
Right.
And he's like, then I go out there all pissed off because, think of that, in that mindset of like, I'm thinking the wrong way. And then Minkah just comes flying in out of nowhere. And
like you had said, I was keeping you up to date because you were busy. And there was probably about 3 times during the end of that, from the third quarter on, where I thought this is over. This is where Cincinnati is going to do what they do. Because their offense is really good, and it just kept providing the Steelers opportunity to get back in it and ultimately win. A lot of injuries on Cincinnati played a role too. Obviously, you lose Higgins early. Boyd is in and out there in the second half. A couple different issues. Mixon was in and out there. So it was a game that, like you said, very comparable to that Tennessee game that you were talking about back in 02-03.
Yeah.
Man. There's so much to it. And it almost took me that second game just to take in what the hell I just saw.
Yeah. And that, like, talk about injuries, like a key one that's kind of, you didn't think about it at the time was the Cincinnati losing their long snapper. They had to bring in the backup long snapper. And, that one high snap on the, what was it? No, it was the slow snap on the extra point that Minkah was able to block, and then that high snap on his first kick in overtime that should have won the game.
Right.
And the laces were in from the high snap, and
it's funny, Mike.
It reminds me of like when James Harrison had to be our long snapper that one year, and he's snapping it 50 yards downfield.
How I always say, these guys are receivers. They make a lot of money. They should be able to catch the ball. These guys do this. These guys are kickers. They should be able to kick the ball. That's all they do. Now, this guy literally fits into this category better than anybody because he does nothing besides snap the ball.
No, he's the
Nothing.
backup. He's the backup.
He doesn't have to adjust how far he's kicking.
That's
He doesn't
true.
have to go out and pressure and
Yeah.
catch a ball. Literally everything that this guy's job entails is him to bend over straight forward and snap the ball back about 8 yards to the guy behind you who's going to catch it. That should be, in theory, and it's not simple, obviously, because we're not pro football players. But I would think for a person with only having one job, that's got to be the most minimalistic one job position on the field.
Well,
Because again, there's no adjustments. He always snaps back the same distance. He always snaps. There's nothing that changes in a snapper's game. Even if he is your backup, even if he's your starter, you would think that it wouldn't be that. This guy should be snapping high. This guy should be snapping low. What do you do for a living? What is the only thing that you do for a living?
Well, in his defense, I can't believe I'm going to defend a Bengals player here. He's a tight end on the team, and he's only in there for emergency situations. So when's like the last time he's really had to snap? Maybe since college, maybe.
But look how vital that is. You know what I mean? It's the one simplest thing on the field to do.
Yeah.
Maybe more reps at practice. I don't know. But,
if it was their starter, I would be like you. I would be ripping this guy the new one. But I'm always willing to give that backup long snapper some slack.
Right.
But he got it there, and you should be able to, as the holder, flip it out fast enough where the laces aren't out. A kicker, I don't know why you don't practice kicking laces for end game situations like this. It's I understand kicking with the laces because that does change the way the trajectory of everything, but you should be practicing stuff like that, playing for the unexpected. And when it happens in a game, you have that muscle memory of, okay, we've had bad snap, bad hold, let's just get it off. But yeah, special teams, man, everyone takes them for granted that this is all automatic until it doesn't work, and then everyone starts freaking out.
Yeah,
I love it. I love when special teams contribute badly to a team.
And we obviously know, the secret here, Mike. You and I have cracked the code.
Yes, we have.
Very cryptically, we gone in like the Da Vinci Code, and we were able to figure out the secrets of the universe in order to crack this code.
Yes,
and
yes.
Here we go. We're going to tell you the secret firsthand from the two dumb yinzers. The reason we won this game, obviously, is because the Bengals didn't wear their new white helmets.
Bingo.
Well, they come out, they have a whole new energy. You have these white helmets. The fans are loving it. The Steelers in town. You performed differently. They win that game. They go with the old bungle orange.
Yep.
They bungle it up.
They do. I think they were intimidated because once the video leaked that Mike Tomlin bought all the players the Nike Black Air Forces, they were shook. They're coming in here with Black Air Force energy. We are effed in the A. And they were like, we are not going to embarrass ourselves with these new white helmets. And they're coming into the stadium with Black Air Forces on. We are effed. I think that shook them. That shook the Bengals, man. They went from the Bengals to the Bengals quickly.
Let's just say, like you and I were saying yesterday, now if they would have wore the whites and this would have happened, I think it would be safe to say that the Bengals never wear the white helmets ever again.
Oh yeah, it would be tainted.
Yes, it would definitely be tainted. And I think that this team has to come out next week and maybe try to turn a new leaf and come out with the whites and see what kind of results they get. There's a lot of psychological shit. You know what I mean? You don't know what.
The Steelers would, if they would have had something new out and said, "Hey, we're wearing it first game," you could have had Tom Brady in his prime out there. You know what the Steelers would do? They would have showed up in that uniform.
Yeah.
When they would have, but no, the Bengals, man, they played scared from the beginning.
It was, couple things, Mike. Let's jump outside of the game. We got a couple things to cover before we get back into it. We also have to go over our picks from Friday to see how horrible that we did. However, I don't think he did quite as bad as I did because we were opposite on a lot of them, and I know that I did horrible. So I'm pretty sure you did a little bit better. So a couple things before getting back into football. Did you catch, Mike, the Le'Veon Bell, Adrian Peterson boxing match?
I caught that last punch by Bell that led to the TKO.
Yes. I of course
He had
Bell
some
to win.
pop to
He was
that.
a Steeler. And I like Adrian Peterson, take nothing away from him, but you know what? Bell cleaned his clock, and you know what? I'm cool with that.
Yep. Like Bell looks in damn good shape.
He sure does.
He looks like he can still go out there and play. But yeah, it was a nice punch. I don't know what sounded better, his punch connecting or when Boz hit the upright and it had that dong like we're going to Taco Bell.
That's what Peterson's face actually sounded like.
It did too.
I thought they were doing
superimposed those sounds.
Yeah. I thought they were playing a soundbite of Peterson's face during the game. Couple corrections we do want to make. Of course, the Penn State Nittany Lions played Ohio University over the weekend. Who said on Friday we got a week ahead of ourselves. We had them playing Auburn.
I got too excited. I was pumped up when we're playing an actual good team, and so I got ahead of myself.
46-10 Penn State wins. Are able to keep their undefeated. They're undefeated, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And
undefeated, baby.
Yes. And Pitt, unfortunately, they dropped one in overtime. Another great game. If you watch both of these Pittsburgh games, I'm pretty sure that you do need to just pay a little extra attention to your cholesterol and to what you're eating this week, because greasy food and what you just watched over the weekend don't go good together. Believe me, I'm living it right now. But but Penn State does play Auburn next, so that ought to be a really great game. A couple other things, Mike. Let's see. Tom Brady's expected to retire after the 2022 season after this public fight between him and Giselle. They've been kind of going at it here for about a month, ever since Tom Brady decided to change his mind about retiring. Giselle wants a family life. She wants Tom home. And I believe, along with a lot of other sources, that this will probably be the last one for at the end of the year. I think 46-year-old Tom Brady.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was hoping he'd stick it out to 50, hit me like him and Roger Staubach making it to 50. But if it wasn't for the wife, he probably would. Right? But at a certain point, man, I'd rather stay at home and hang out with my supermodel wife and count our money. Just sit there and count our money. Say, what beach are we going to today? Okay, let's go.
I would have made that decision about 10 years ago if I was him.
Right?
Did you see this, Mike? I was watching the Pirates. Remember that we were talking about the Pirates the other day where they were wearing the Crawford uniforms?
Yeah.
Well, later in the game that night, they showed what they did. Now, they usually wear their Pirate blacks even when they do the old school uniforms. Yeah. Well, what they did was there was a spray paint that they used on their helmets. They spray painted them red to go with the Crawford's look to match their unis. Now, the spray paint is really cool because when the game's over, you just peel that paint, and it comes off in one piece the whole way around, and there you have it. So, I mean, within minutes, you have a different helmet and ready to go.
I like that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I never even heard of like spray paint like that. I'm used to, spray paint, you put it on there and you gotta, if you want that off, man, you gotta put some paint stripper on that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Maybe they should have spray painted their helmets white in the locker today.
They should have. They should have, though, them and the Bengals come out with the white helmets.
I tell you what, these Pirates, the whole organization, everybody just seems so defeated. I'm watching the games, a little bit of the games over the weekend, and the announcers, they really don't even seem like they want to be there. At one point, McHenry was doing this analysis thing. He looked very like he was there. The interest wasn't there. A couple other points during the gaming, I thought, wow, they just don't seem like they're into it. And they lost 2 out of 3 over the weekend. St. Louis was in town. St. Louis beat them 3 times: 8-2 Friday, 7-5 Saturday, and 4-3 yesterday. Yesterday, of course, was a comeback. Albert Pujols hits a home run. I believe it was 697 or something to give them the
Yep.
lead and ultimately beat the Pirates.
Yes.
Pirates dropped to 51 and 88. They are 31 games out of first place. However, they have something good in their favor because the Reds are going to play Cincinnati. Back to Cincinnati here, and they are just slightly ahead of our Pirates. They're about 5.5 games, but they are indeed the next team ahead of us. So we have that 4 games. Then we go to Citibank Field, New York.
City. Yeah, I can't remember what it's actually called.
We play those guys for 4. And then before we leave New York, we stop at the Bronx to play 2, the second, last 2 of the split series we have with the Yankees. So we're on a 10-game road stand starting today. 6:35, the game in Cincinnati. If you care, check that out.
Nah, F the Pirates.
Here's one question I do have about baseball. Like, one thing that I've noticed in the few games that I have been watching lately, just through different times of the game, players for both teams, they have a card that they pull out of their back pocket. And a center fielder for I don't remember. I just remember one point an outfielder took this card out and he's in the outfield between plays, and he's looking at this card, and when he's done, he sticks it back in his pocket. And then later in the weekend, I noticed the catcher for us pulls this card out of his pocket while he's crouched down in between pitches, looks at this card, sticks it back in his pocket. And one other time, I noticed that a left side infielder for St. Louis, same thing. He pulls this card out, looks at it, puts it back in his pocket. Do you have any idea what this card is?
Only thing I can think of is it probably has info about like everyone on the other team, like their tendencies.
Yeah.
Like where they hit and how they hit against someone else. Maybe it has like a hit chart to figure out, okay, they're more than likely, if they get a hit, it's going to go this part of the field. So we can adjust accordingly, adjust how they're going to play. That's the only thing I can think of, because it's been so long since I watched a baseball game and so I don't even know if this is like a new thing, an old thing, but my best guess is it probably has information about everyone on that team who's scheduled to play, just as a quick reference.
You know what? You're probably right.
But that's weird. I've never seen
it before.
Me either. Because like I said, it's been probably about like 2 years since I've seen an actual baseball game. But all the times before that, I watched a decent amount of games a year, and I've never seen that.
Yeah, same here. I've literally only seen it for the first time this past series. Both teams were doing it. Figured I would bring it up. Also, one more thing, guys. The Albert Pujols hitting that 697 home run passes A-Rod, who's sitting at 696. Now, Albert Pujols sits at number 4 all time by himself, only behind Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth. Pretty impressive where he's at right now. Pretty impressive company. I think, my man, you just got to you know what? Keep playing, brother. Keep playing. Even if you're going to play DH, do whatever you got to do. He's too close, Mike. And here's the thing.
Oh, no, you froze.
He was having trouble hitting home runs at this point.
Oh man, Ryan's froze. He's choppy. A little bit better. Hey-o. But yeah, there you go. Do the AB. But no, you're right. He should just keep going, man. Like, just play as long as you can as a DH. See how many home runs you can hit until you don't want it anymore. See if you can at least get into second place. I saw online a couple Twitter accounts were boo-hooing the fact that Pirate fans were applauding Pujols.
I heard that as well.
For making it into fourth place. This is one of the greatest players of all time. This is something you might not see again in your lifetime. You, as a fan of sports, you appreciate great athletic feats. This is why we're sports fans. To watch people do, to watch great athletes do great things.
This is what separates Pittsburgh from Philadelphia. Pittsburgh is usually somewhat respectable in this situation where Philadelphia is not. This is what separates us from the animals over on the other side of the state.
I will say though, like when Lemieux played against the Flyers when he came back from cancer, they did give him that rousing ovation.
Did they?
Yeah, just because if you don't do that, there's something wrong with you. So at least they have that going for them. They'll throw batteries at Santa Claus, but they'll respect Lemieux, and that tells you how good Lemieux is. But
Yeah.
like, come on, guys, this people who are upset about this, you're idiots. I God, how many times have we seen other cities like for Penguins players just if they see Lemieux do something crazy when we had Yager or even Crosby and Malkin, other cities have been like, you know what? Yeah, you're torching us, but that was one of the best things we've ever seen. So we're going to give you the ovation. We're going to tip the cap.
Yeah.
That's what you do in sports. If you don't like it, if you find something wrong with that, there's something wrong with you and you should not enjoy sports.
Real quick before we get back, excuse me, to our NFL talk. All right, two things. One, Martha Stewart goes topless to promote a new coffee at 81 years old. Martha Stewart topless. Mike,
Rock on, Martha.
Rock on, Martha. All right,
rock on, girlfriend.
I almost threw up in my mouth, but Mike says rock on, so we'll just go right by that. Two, the women's tennis. At what point are someone going to step up and say it's kind of sexist to continue to have these girls wear dresses while they compete? Why can't the girls wear anything? Why can't the girls wear shorts? Isn't it kind of un-2022, the fact that these girls still continue to have to wear dresses for their tennis matches?
Yes.
This is an observation of mine that I just kind of noticed over time.
Yeah, because I would say so, because they have to wear those short skirts.
Yeah.
And I agree with you for a change. This is weird. I don't like this. I feel dirty. I agree with you.
That Steeler game fucked up some kind of alignment with the stars.
It did, dude. You're one like, hey, man, why are we objectifying these women athletes? Are you feeling okay? But no, I agree with you. They should be able to wear shorts if they want to.
Absolutely. The fact that they're making women wear dresses is no different than making women wear fucking scarves around their faces in other parts of the world. Yeah. In my opinion, let these chicks wear what they want to wear, especially if it's going to make them more comfortable and perform better.
Yeah, because and if like you want to keep wearing the skirt, you can keep wearing the skirt. But if you want to wear shorts, you should be able to wear shorts. It's kind of like in beach volleyball. Like the guys, they don't have to wear the tight, short Speedos. They can wear the shorts they want, but the women, they got to wear them to where they're shoving up their asses.
Yeah. And these damn sumo wrestlers. I was up all night watching sumo the other night because it was the only thing that was on. And I wish they would put some more fucking clothes on these guys. Holy fuck.
Nah, man. I want less
like they have these Adonis bodies like wrestlers. You know what I mean?
I want less clothing on my sumo wrestlers. Wait, what? What are we talking about?
No less. It's a thong, and then it's tied in a bow. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Let's jump back to our predictions. Dun, dun, dun. And it wasn't good, people. It wasn't good. First game on our list, we had the Eagles and Lions. Of course, Mike took the Eagles. I took the Lions like a jackhole. And the Eagles win that game 38-35, I believe. Bears 49ers again. I chose the 49ers. The Bears win 19-10.
Money.
Steelers Bengals. We'll get back to that. Dolphins Patriots. Of course, I take the Patriots. Mike takes the Dolphins.
Dolphins all day.
All right, let me continue here.
Yeah, just keep going.
Browns and Panthers. I took the Panthers. Mike took the Browns. He won. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he had some kind of cheat sheet at this point.
Oh no, I did win that one. I put that down wrong.
You did. We both took the Colts and the Colts Texans game, and of course we all know that game finished in a 20-20 tie. So that's another one I didn't win.
Yep, same here.
The Saints, my first win. The Saints with the one, I think, a 1 point win, 37-36, give or take, something like that. These Saints end up pulling it off. Mike and I both chose the Saints over the Falcons. We get that win. The Ravens, again, Mike and I both chose Baltimore over the Jets, which was a good pick because the Ravens beat the Jets. You and I both took the Jaguars over the team formerly known as the Redskins out of Washington.
Commanders.
And we lose that game. Team that's formerly known as the Redskins pulls
Commanders.
it off and beat the Jaguars.
That's what I get for, making my circle too big. Because I remember I did that big circle over the Jags on accident.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Mike takes the Vikings. I take the Packers. And, of course, the Vikings just dominate.
That was my upset special of the week.
Who thought? Yeah, who would have thought? Mike and I both took the Titans over the Giants. The Giants win.
Saquon Barkley is back, baby.
Yeah, let's see. Mike and I both took the Chargers over the Raiders. We pulled a win off there.
Mm-hmm.
We both took the Chiefs over the Cardinals. We both took the Bucks over the Cowboys. So the last two games we did win. Tonight, the last game of the week is the Broncos at Seattle. Mike and I both took the Broncos, so we're going to be keeping a close eye on that game tonight.
Yes.
So I didn't count my totals because I don't even want to know, but I did really bad. I might have won about 3 games. I might have picked about 3 games correctly.
Yeah. For the pros, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want 10 and 3 with the pros. We add in the college scores there and the Steeler game. Actually, I want 10 and 6 overall this weekend.
Yeah, we can't even pick college because I think you picked Auburn to beat Penn State 30-28.
Yeah, they weren't there. So we'll just take that one out.
And Pitt, Pitt drops to 23 and 24, just depending on what pool you're going by. Which isn't the worst thing in the world. I think that they get right back at it now. This time last year, they lost to a Western Michigan team, where this year you lose to a ranked team in overtime. It's not going to have as hard of an effect on you. However, you lose both your tackles, you lose your guard, you lose your starting quarterback. Perhaps that's not good moving forward. But they are sitting. They're basically sitting where Tennessee was sitting, and Tennessee's basically sitting where we're.
Yeah, they just flip flopped. Yeah,
they beat us. We flipped. So that. But yeah, let me count real quick. Let me see how many I won. I lost 1, I lost 2, I lost 3, I lost 4, 0 and 4, 0, 4 and 1, 1, 4 and 1, 1, 5 and 1, 1, 6 and 1, 1, 7 and 1, 1, 8 and 1, 2, 8 and 1, 4, 8 and 1. 4, 8 and 1 is my predictions for this week. Terrible, but I still have a chance tonight to get that Broncos win to put me at 5. Any way you slice it was bad pickings.
It was.
So Mike is gonna carry that victory home this week. I'm gonna have to try to do a little bit better this week. We'll see what we can do. Let's come back to the Steeler game, Mike. We'll talk Steelers here for a little bit.
All right.
New England coming to town, man. Next week at home opener.
Yes.
They come off a loss. They lose to Miami. We come off a crazy win to Cincinnati. Give me a Monday prediction for Sunday's game.
Oh, it's gonna be a tough one, but I'm gonna go with the Steelers with it's gonna be another eke out victory. That's what I'm going with right there. Steelers gonna eke one out again. When you lose your best player, best defensive player of the year for at least at minimum, you're hoping 6 weeks. It's going to affect that D a lot. It's going to affect a lot of what you do. But I'm thinking they squeak this one out.
I'm hoping they do. And you always got to remember that you're not playing the Patriots. You're playing Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
If Bill Belichick could put inferior players out there and be successful, he's a great coach. Nobody deny that. So I think that playing Bill Belichick is going to be a little bit tougher than playing the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know what to make of Mac Jones. I will be paying close attention in this week because we haven't had a first-hand look at him yet against the Steelers. So I find that to be interesting. Their quarterback, and like you said, I mean, if we could squeak, if we could win, if we could, be sitting at 2-0 going into the Jets game. And then I think after that, it's Cleveland or vice versa, Cleveland and the Jets, which are 2 games that you would hope to be able to win. So it could be a lot worse at this time. We could have just got blown out by Cincinnati, waiting for Bill Belichick to come to town. But
Yeah.
This is the best case scenario for where we're at, what's going on, and I'm ready. I'm bring on Bill Belichick. Hopefully that with the game plan, the strategy, and everything that Mike Tomlin, Flores, everybody on the defense put together, there is no denying that game plan rocked the show yesterday.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd, who made the comment last year about the Steelers just giving up, he came out after this game and was honest again. And I spoke of it last week. He was nothing but being honest when he made the comment about us giving up. He came out after this game and says, you can't take nothing away from the Steelers.
Yep.
They game planned well. That's a good team. Again, Tyler Boyd being honest, in my opinion. And it was what it was. So I expect this team to come out and have a game plan for New England. And like you said, let's try to get a win out of there, man. If we, like I sasaid, 2-0, not many people would expect that with the line that we have, going 3-0 in the preseason, which means nothing. But you're looking at numbers, 3-0 in the preseason, you come out 2-0, not bad for a team that don't have a damn offensive line.
Exactly. And I'm just worried about that injury to Watt. That's a huge blow, because now you're going to ask Highsmith to produce at close to a TJ Watt level. Now you're going to ask Malik Reed to replicate what he did 2 years ago in Denver when he had 8 sacks, and kind of pick up where Highsmith left off in this game, where he had 9 tackles, 3 sacks. So it's going to have those two guys are going to have to elevate their game. Highsmith was already elevating his game for when he did last year. He's going to have to take another step within 1 week.
Right.
Or if he can just keep producing the way he did this game, and if Malik Reed can come in and just do what he did those 2 years ago in Denver, we're not going to be as good, but I think we'll be okay. As long as you get that steady pressure.
You're losing your Watt effect, which is big. But again, you're right. On the other hand, we still got a pretty damn good defense. And if Cam is healthy, and if Oluwalu is healthy, and Highsmith continues to strive to play at that level where he came out yesterday, and no complaints at all about this guy. And the linebackers keep playing the way they play, and the secondary keeps playing the way they play. If it is, in fact, only a 6-week injury, which I'll do a fucking happy dance in my nude here on the show, but we don't know that yet. They're going to check him out today, and there's a chance that, he could possibly be out the rest of the year. And like you said, at a minimum 6 weeks, I think the defense could pull it off if it's a 6-week deal. I think they're going to get awfully, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to kind of get beat eventually, in the sense, if you're trying to do this for longer than that.
Yeah.
Come December, you're not going to still be performing the way that you performed on September 11th. You're going to be beat. You're going to be more injured. Guys are going to be dinged up. So if it's for the shorter period of time, I think we'll be fine. I think our defense is strong enough to continue to be a dominant defense. But like I said, that Watt effect is huge, and let's just see what they say today.
Yeah, and it's going to put a lot of these next 3 games are going to be key, because if they can win these next 3 in any way they can, and let that defense, continue play what they did, or get those couple guys, that are going to have increased roles, let them figure it out these 3 games. Let the offense figure it out in these next 3 games, because after the Jets, we got the Bills, Buccaneers, Dolphins, Eagles. That's going to be if you come into those games 4-0 and you walk out of those games 4-3, okay, because those are 3 of the best, and then that 4th one, that's going to be a tough run there. So you kind of want to get all this stuff, get these next 3 wins in, let the offense figure it out with these next 3 games.
What I'm liking is this: you faced a top-notch offense yesterday. Say what you want, this offense is top-notch.
It is.
So you beat these guys the way we beat them. Nonetheless, we win. So now you have Mac Jones, you have Jacoby Brissett, and Joe Flacco. You should be able to stay in these games. And And like you said, I mean, if we start off 4-0, that's best case scenario because those next 4 games are going to be tough.
Yeah.
And we just got to kind of see what the state of the Steelers is at that point when those 4 games are starting, because it's so tough to tell, especially again with injuries, just the way the league goes. I mean, you don't know who's going to be injured for these teams, but those 4 games in a row, it should be illegal to have those 4 games in a row, because when does it let up?
Yeah. Like the only cake one in there is that Dolphins team. That Dolphins team's not that bad.
And you know what?
They have talent.
Do with New England, we're going to kind of get a feel of how tough that Miami game might be for us.
Yeah.
Who New England goes out and gets dominated. And you can't say because they lost to them, we're going to automatically. Maybe you get an idea. And it's going to be, you know what? Crazy to talk Super Bowl, but you know what? If you're looking for an exciting football season, I think you're going to get it with this team.
I think I still think it's going to be kind of like how it was the past couple of years. Every game's going to be anxiety ridden to the very end, unless we're getting completely blown out or we somehow blow someone out. I think 80% of these games are going to be nail biters. You're just going to be anxious the entire time. Your stress levels are going to go up. Your blood pressure is going to go up. It's going to be fun times. Hey,
absolutely.
Real quick, Devin Bush was not that bad this game. He didn't look lost. He didn't nothing egregious. So that's an encouraging sign.
Absolutely. You really can't say much bad about this defense. They carried the load. They came in. They did what they had to do, and you know what? It worked.
Yeah. Akilo Witherspoon.
Game, it doesn't matter what the score was or how it happened. In an ugly game, the Steelers needed to win. The only thing that matters is that W at the end of the game on the board. So do what you want with that, people. I think it's not a bad thing. I think yesterday's a great start. For what we have going on. I expected it to be a lot different.
Yeah, I'll take a win any way we can get a win. Wins is a win. I don't care. I don't care if it's ugly. I don't care if it's pretty. As long as we win.
Absolutely, man. And we went into their stadium on opening day after the Super Bowl. There's not many people giving us much. One guy, I think it was Jerry Dulac. Jerry Dulac. He actually predicted it. He predicted they showed like all the predictions from media heads here in Pittsburgh. Jerry Dulac actually picked 23-20 Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow. Dulac was just, he's like, screw it, I'll just go against the grain.
Yeah.
Because I like how people try to make fun of like everyone in the media that picked the Bengals. Like, look what they did to us last year.
Right.
And look how they improved their team and look how we barely improved our team. So it's not wrong to say, hey, to pick that one. They weren't wrong. That was like the logical choice to make. Anyone who picked the Steelers, you're more or less picking with your heart and not your brain.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I expect our media heads to do here in Pittsburgh is be honest. And because if you know football, speak what you know. Don't just take the Steelers because
the hometown team. Yeah, and that's for us fans to do.
Absolutely.
But what I'm picking on here, I'm gonna pick logically. But in my heart, if I pick against the Steelers, I want them to win. But logically, if I can't talk myself into a victory, I'm not going to give them a victory. Does that make me a bad fan?
Us winning yesterday's game. You know what? If I was a gambling man, I would have lost all my money. I didn't think that we were going to win yesterday, and I'm openly going to win.
I would have taken the Bengals given 7. That they were.
I don't even think they made it over the over/under, did they?
Over/under was 40.
I think the thing was 44.5.
I think it was 44.5. So I would have taken the over.
I would have too. And I would have expected most of it to be Cincinnati.
Me too. Especially from like the last time you saw this team play.
Yeah.
Just a football game when Kansas City ran it up on us. So you've been like, all right.
I'm kind of curious now. I want to see the Bengals start. I want to see a Bengals Bills game. I want to see a Bengals Chiefs game. I want to see, what they
where they
where are they at here? Where they could come out and have nasty, shitty luck in games over the next 5 weeks and just be a totally different season than they had last year. I want to see. I want to see if this Bengals team, is mentally prepared and ready to not have that Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, they have a
As
nice
we
little
mentioned, they
reprieve.
lost their last two games now. The last two meaningful games,
Yeah.
they lost them both.
Well, they have the Cowboys coming up next, who just lost Dak Prescott. Then they got the Jets, Dolphins, then the Ravens, and Saints, Falcons, Browns, Panthers, us again. Then they get to the Titans, then the Chiefs later in the year. So they really don't have that hard of a schedule until that latter
Right.
part of the year.
You're right.
They kind of like for how far they made it into they made it to the Super Bowl. Their schedule's not that impressive. Who
Yeah,
they have to
no.
play. And they really don't play the top tier teams till the end of the year. And that could serve them well.
I tell you what, though, Mike, I am super excited. We had colleges in full swing on Saturday.
Yes.
We had the pros in full swing. The weekend's not even over. We still have a game tonight. The football season is here. And you know what? Ultimately, that's what gets me excited. And we waited for months and months and months and months. We just kept saying, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Here we are. We have it. It's coming full speed. Unexpected things are happening. Favorites are losing. Underdogs are winning. You know what? It's here. It's here.
It is. And yeah, you seem to be a whole new person now that football is in full swing.
I am.
You seem happier.
I have women genitalia now. I am a whole new person.
Mazel tov. Congratulations. But no, you seem happier. You seem more excited now that we have football.
Yes.
You seem a little less pale. I was just trying to sneak that one in there.
Hopefully I could carry that all the way through February, man. We could football brings out the best in us here too.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Mike, why don't you go tell everybody about the website?
TwoDumbYinzers.com. Head over there. We have links to everywhere, YouTube, Spotify. We have our merchandise store. We have our email. Anything you need, Two Dumb Yinzers is at TwoDumbYinzers.com.
There you have it. Two Dumb Yinzers. Go check it out. And we are live every day, Monday through Friday, over on YouTube from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Continue to check us out. We do thank everybody so much for doing so. And today's show will be up tonight at 8 o'clock every night. The new show that we do that morning, we do post it at 8 o'clock over on Spotify in podcast form. So continue to check that out if you like listening. Instead of seeing Mike's face like myself, I will listen to the show so I don't have to see. But anyway, beside the point, Mike, are you ready? Are you ready for some trivia?
I'm ready for some trivia.
This is trivia, episode 147. You got your pencil. Here we go. This is not a sports-related question. I want to throw you off a little bit today. Nonetheless, we do have Pittsburgh ties, so here we go. Which of the following movies, Mike? I'm looking for which of the following movies was not filmed in Pittsburgh. I'm going to give you four choices. You tell me the one movie that was not filmed in Pittsburgh. Right. A, Night of the Living Dead. B, Silence of the Lambs. C, The Butterfly Effect. Or D, Inspector Gadget. And I'll give you a few moments to think about that. My button is being screwy today, and I'm just gonna imagine that the music is playing in my head like I always do.
All right, I have a guess.
You have a guess. So let me read the question again. Which of the following movies was not filmed in Pittsburgh? A, Night of the Living Dead. B, Silence of the Lambs. C, The Butterfly Effect. And D, Inspector Gadget. And of course, Mike came up with
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. Is that your final answer?
That'll be my final answer.
All right. Of course, which of the following movies was not filmed in Pittsburgh? Night of the Living Dead, Silence of the Lambs, Butterfly Effect, and Inspector Gadget. And the correct answer is the one that's not made in Pittsburgh or partially made in Pittsburgh was in fact C, The Butterfly Effect. The Butterfly Effect.
F you, Ashton Kutcher.
I think we all knew Night of the Living Dead.
Yes.
Inspector Gadget just came out within the past, 15 years. What's the guy that
Matthew Broderick. I think that
Matthew
movie's like
Broderick.
20. I think it's like 20 years old. I think.
Was it? Is it really?
I think so.
Wow. Matthew Broderick, of course, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, was Inspector Gadget. So then it comes down to for Mike, Silence of the Lambs and the Butterfly Effect. Silence of the Lambs, there is a house. There's a house, Mike, they did use in that movie
Yeah.
that in Pittsburgh that was a partial part of the setting. So that leaves the odd man out being the Butterfly Effect. But
1999, Inspector Gadget came out.
oh wow.
We are old, bro. I graduated high school when that movie came out.
Wow. Remember, hey, do you remember Dick Tracy?
Yeah, I saw that movie in theaters when it came out, man.
Remember that not like became a thing for like 5 minutes and
I liked it. I liked it as a little kid. I thought it was a fun movie to watch.
yeah, I don't know why I'm making a connection between was Matthew Broderick wasn't in Dick Tracy as well, was he?
No, that was oh, what was his name? I can
Oh
picture his
yeah,
face.
you know what? You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty. But hey, everybody, we do want to thank you so much. Mike, you did miss that one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Get back at it tomorrow. I'll try to dig something out, on the third grade level. Hopefully, Mike can get back in this here in September.
That's hateful, man. That's hurtful.
But we do want to thank everybody for checking us out and hope that you please continue to do so. For Mike,
Yes.
for Ryan, the Two Dumb Yinzers,